Right. How do we start paying attention to when we're not regulated? Because our relationships don't go well when that happens. And it's just something we're not been taught, is it? We don't know
No.
when we feel anger. We don't know what causes what. We have no idea. We have very low vocabulary for feelings. Good, mad, bad, sad. And then when you ask people what they need, it's like, I have needs? No, 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 that's selfish. I can't ask for anything.
Mhm. Yeah. And I just been taught how to handle it based on how my caretakers handle, in this case, my mom and dad. It's modeled, right? It's mirrored. What they do is what I do in my relationship until I catch it, right? And they say that the reason why the people that are closest to me are the most triggering is because we have history, right? I mean, who here finds it easy to talk to a stranger, to talk about anything? Right? Can drop in and just be like, hold space and be compassionate for this person. Well, it's because there's no history, right? There's no unresolved resentments. Though if I'm with my relationship, with my girlfriend, boyfriend, or my parents, there's things that are unresolved, unprocessed that's add to the trenches, right? So what do you say about like unprocessed emotions, right? All that stuff that's there.
Unprocessed emotions. Marcella, she's saying she was trained in the 478 breathing technique. It's a trauma breathing technique.
Mm,
Yeah. And what is trauma really? It's kind of a popular name or term. Really, all it means is that our nervous system was overwhelmed at some point and we weren't able to process what we were feeling and what we were needing at the time. And so the beauty of triggers is that it brings it up in the moment to be healed. Triggers are these beautiful experiences that can be turned into teachers for us. And this is why I believe as couples or partners or families, we can become healing conduits to each other. It takes a little practice to get out of the automatic judgments and the thoughts that we have about the other person that we want to blame and shame. We don't want often to sit with our own emotions when we're in the trenches. We don't want to admit we're tired. We don't want to admit we're emotional. We don't want to admit we're angry. We've been taught to repress, suppress, deny, and do all sorts of interesting things. Eat, work, numb ourselves from these things. But as soon as you get comfortable breathing into with a breathing technique and observing the energy, because emotions are just energy as it's moving through you in this neutral way. It's what it does. It moves. It goes back into its motion. And we get insight. We're calmer. And instead of projecting those feelings and telling people, the people that trigger us, that elicit these feelings, they're not the cause of it, they're just the stimulus. The more we're able to appreciate what they bring into our lives, and the more that we're able to actually see them as Dre said, mirrors, which just means that they allow us to bring up the traumas that have been hidden or kept a lid on for a while so that we can now process them in the moment. And it takes a little bit of skill we haven't been taught, but it is a lot simpler than we've been led to believe. Right, Dre?
mm. Yeah, exactly. I truly believe that people arrive for a reason, season, or eternity. And it's a different outlook of seeing these people as my Jedi trainers. It's so much gratitude that comes with it, that I'm thankful for these relationships, right? For the situation, as hard as that may be, right? Though it gives me that power, it empowers me to then look at myself from that. And that's within my control rather than wanting someone to change. Because if I say you're being so critical right now, right, then I'm really giving my power away because I'm wanting you to change to be less critical versus, oh, what about that is eliciting in me? What's coming up here? Right. And just first of all, the language of let's regulate the nervous system first, calm the self down, And then we can keep this very simple because it's not about analyzing, figure out tips and strategies. There's so much ideas out there, to do's, right? That keeps me in my head, right? Because I'm trying to figure out a strategy and a formula to solve this problem. But really, it's about me being in touch with my body, and the language of my body is my emotions. And some of us might be afraid that, oh man, if I really feel these feelings, I'm going to blow a casket, right? It's not going to be good. All right. And I say, the reason why a lot of people numb is numbing is a result of handling an overwhelming amount of emotion that my body does not know how to handle, or I don't know how to handle. Right. And we're not talking about blowing a casket, just releasing the pressure valve just a bit to source whatever emotion's present by naming it. Right. Because when I don't have the vocabulary or feelings, it's really hard for me to connect it with my intellect to create some understanding with it. So I'm like, okay, I'm feeling annoyed right now. Okay, why am I feeling annoyed? And then I connect it to my needs. Right. It's a very simple thing, but complicated because it's a paradigm shift. It's a different way of thinking and going about navigating the wisdom of what's within me here to be embodied. Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Energy and motion. Emotion is meant to move. Right. It's called emotion for a reason. And it's meant to move through the body because itself carries wisdom. And if I just sit with it without the judgment and I breathe into it, most likely that emotion is going to shift to a different emotion. It's pretty cool how it works, right? Okay? It's not something I chose. It's something that was put into me, as they say in nonviolent communication, is that these feelings and needs is what's put into me. I didn't choose them to be there. They're just there. So they're kind of markers for me to explore about myself, explore what life is, right? Because when I go down the trail of connecting my feelings to my needs, I connect to life. I connect to humanity. I connect what it means to be a human being. It's such a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing, indeed. And I just wanted to go back to triggers. She said, sometimes when triggers, it's a reflection of us. And some people I know will be like, well, I'm not like them. And I know what was funny about you recently, you're like, oh, you're being so critical right now. And the irony of that is the person who's saying that you're being critical is being critical. It's funny.
Right. I'm criticizing the
The
criticism.
criticizer. I know. That's funny. It's funny. It's amusing. Not all triggers are a direct mirror reflection. Sometimes, I always say it's kind of like, you go to Callaway Park or any of these theme parks and they have the house of mirrors and some of them are all really wonky or they're smoky. Sometimes if someone is, for example, an abuser or, is controlling, the other person, the mirror is more than, well, how do I give my power away then? Which is the inverse of what's triggering us. So there's different types of mirrors, different ways of seeing our reflection in others so that we can learn to become an authentic expression of ourself. So that we can show up in the world to feel a deep sense of meaning, contribution, excitement, community. I mean, we're here on the planet for a reason, aren't we? To live life, to be our best selves, to experience. And others really are able to give us a direct mirror of how to do that, of how to become a person that enlivens a room, that makes people feel safe, that makes people experience themselves as part of the one source that we're all from. How are we all these unique, beautiful threads to the same life serving energy? This is the beauty of being able to communicate in this way. And I believe it's a pathway to empathy, but also telepathy, because we can tune into energy without judging it. Mm.
Yeah. And that's the power of being in the field is when I imagine myself in the field, I'm present, right? Because judgment takes me out of the present moment. I'm in my head. I'm thinking about something that was said in the past. But when I'm truly present, I am in tuned with what's in the field. And if we believe that everything is energy, right, then we're all in the same soup, that I can feel your energy. You can feel my energy. Has anybody walked into the room and felt like everybody was staring at them? Have you felt someone judging you, giving you the stink eye? It's the same thing. Or someone saying one thing, but then it feels like there's some jeepers creepers with it and their actions are another, right? It's a felt experience. Yeah. So if I'm in tune and I'm present in the moment, then the next step is, huh, what is this person might be feeling and what are they needing, right? If I can make a guess of that, I can help lead them into their life serving energy. And if someone is telling a story, okay, I get it. We all love stories, right? Though there might be a time where I'm stuck in the story and I'm just talking about my problem over and over again, right? And it's a place where I just want to be heard, right? There's times where I'm like, hey, I just want someone to listen to me. Let me vent. Cool. All right. Though if I'm also looking for support, if I'm wanting this person to support me, then they're going to help me get out of the story because the story is where I get stuck in my judgments, right? And the way to get out of the story is connecting to what I'm feeling and what I'm needing, right? It's looking at that to be like, what am I learning about myself in this story, right? So,
Yes, we tell stories, and it's all stories about ourselves. I love it. Marcella, I gave my power away long ago and lost myself going on a journey to self discovery, self care, self compassion, and
mm,
self love. Yes, it's such a powerful journey. It's exciting. I always tell people, because people are like, oh, this is terrible. Why is this happening to me? And I said, well, approach it like it's a movie, Indiana Jones, all those exciting places. It wouldn't be any fun if there weren't snake pits and exciting twists and turns in a jungle that they're going through. And emotionally, this is what we're going through. Um, and I believe our society has given it a bad rap because our bodies are innately intelligent. I actually believe that there's nothing that our bodies can't handle. It won't give us anything that we can't experience greater insight to and a greater experience of consciousness of ourselves, of our potential, of our ability to connect, to create, and to grow as individuals, but also as a species. We're all collectively connected to a higher source. We all heard of the 100th monkey. One monkey in one country learns to wash a potato with salt water, and then a week later, this other monkey, they weren't physically connected, is learning the same thing. Grade Braden talks about our antenna like the mycelium, this actual energetic field that connects us all. That's why we're learning so quickly and evolving so fast. We don't have to suffer anymore with what we call abuse, narcissists. All these labels are really social constructs. They're not real things. They're bound by our language, our judgments, our culture. But energy itself, the feelings and needs that live in our body, is energetic information and data that's linked to source itself. It is the most potent healing force that we have. It's our original technology. We are the most advanced bioengineered technology there is. I really believe that. It's just that we're taught to source ourselves outside, to give our power away to someone or something else, which is actually literally the definition of addiction. Addiction means dictatorship. It means giving your power away to someone else. And we have this addiction to, oh, someone save me. Oh, let's get this new technology. Oh, let's do this. Oh, I need more information. I need more information. And we're always avoiding simply tuning in to the field of information that we're bathed in all of the time.
mm,
And sometimes it's overwhelming. And so this is how we start to build the capacity to be that conduit to energy without us fraying out, without being triggered, without going on the fritz. Um, and so I believe this is the time where we're really learning how to do that, where we
Mm.
don't blame others for the energy that's in our body. We go, oh, this is my body. This is in my body. How do I start using this intelligence that's in here?